Hello and welcome to Questions in Quarantine. Now, here in California, we've been under stay-at-home orders for a whole month. And as we look ahead to the summer and even to the fall, people are starting to think about what it'll be like to return to normal. But what does that even look like? Well, today's question in quarantine is how and when will quarantine end? The White House released broad guidelines that outline 3 phases each community will go through once it's been determined that they're far enough past the peak of the virus's effects. During the first phase, vulnerable individuals, older people, and those with compromised immune systems continue to stay home and physical distancing remains in place. Remote working is encouraged and employees can return to work in phases. Theaters and gyms can reopen under strict social distancing, but schools and bars will remain closed. Social gatherings are limited to 10 people or less. During the second phase, vulnerable individuals should remain home. Schools and daycares can reopen, and bars can reopen with precautions and reduced capacity. Non-essential travel can resume, and the limit on social gatherings is raised from 10 people to 50 people or less. In the third phase, vulnerable individuals can start going out again, but should maintain physical distancing. People can return to work, and visits to hospitals and nursing homes can resume. Everyone should avoid crowds and continue to practice good hygiene. So when will this phased reopening start? The guidelines leave it up to the discretion of state governors, but recommend a demonstrated downward trend in cases over a 14-day period. Some state governors, like Governor Brian Kemp of Georgia, announced that some businesses will be allowed to open as early as this week, against the advice of some public health professionals.
We're probably going to see our cases continue to go up, but we're a lot better prepared for that now than we were over a month ago.
Here in California, Governor Newsom warns the state still doesn't have the widespread ability to track the virus, and that schools and businesses need to be able to support physical distancing before they reopen. He says there's no precise timeline for when the state will start to relax measures.
Practicing physical distancing has worked to keep those numbers relatively modest in terms of growth. But if we pull back too quickly, those numbers will go through the roof. And I don't think any of the people in their goodwill and the spirit which they are wanting to loosen things up want to see those numbers increase.
Now, health experts say that we're still in the middle of a crisis, and we should act like it. We should keep doing what we're doing so that we all get through it. But when the time comes for quarantine to end, this is what it could look like. That's it for today's Question in Quarantine. Back to you guys.